Hello, Josie here. Are you ready for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And are you sure? Okay, here we go. So, end of last year, I was staying at a hotel in Houston, and I was I met this woman in the hotel lobby bar, or the hotel bar, and she was just sitting there one evening, and I went downstairs, and I was basically having an evening of just relaxation and enjoyment and pleasure, so to speak. And I could feel the energy of this woman as soon as I walked downstairs into the bar area. She was having a conversation with one of the associates of the hotel, and I could feel that there was a play going on in front of me. There was a setup. There was a scene happening, playing out on a stage, and I played along. I played along. And, the bartender there, her name was Laura. She was a setup as well, too. And she thought I didn't see her, but I did see her. And the conversation ensued about, just life story, what we've been through, what we've experienced, so on and so forth. It was really deep. We were the only ones there, which was really interesting as well, too. Like I said, it was a staged scene. It was a scene on a stage. And so I played my part, that I was called to do. And prior to me exiting the stage, ending the scene, there was a couple that walked in. And the entire time this couple was there, they looked in different directions. Basically, they never made eye contact with me. They actually tried to keep their eyes from making eye contact with me, keep me from seeing their faces intentionally. Because if I were to see their faces, I would recognize who they were. They were basically used. Their vessels were being used to gather information. And these people were down in the bar that evening, and they were also in the hotel restaurant next morning because me and this woman that I met down at the bar, we decided to get breakfast the next morning. She actually is the one that suggested we get breakfast the next morning. And I agreed to it. Once again, another stage, another scene that needed to be played out. And in short, this couple was downstairs. They did the same thing. They sat real close to us in the restaurant. And the woman that I was conversing with, no, we did not engage in anything sexual. She kept looking in the direction of this couple. And I clocked it, just like I clocked it the night before. And I said, oh, okay, all right. So, I don't believe in coincidences. They're down there trying to get information. And what this woman was trying to do was she was trying to get me in my feels. She was trying to get information from me. And she wanted to know how much I knew in regard to my parents and what they had done and what they had engaged in. And they heard what they heard, which was the truth, which concerned them. Anyway, this woman, God just let me know that she is now sick. She's sick. Because she was used. She was used as a medium. I want you to think about the movie Ghost. She was used as a medium, a way of channeling and or getting information, siphoning information. And she shared some information with me as well, too. She shared her story with me, which was, nice to hear. I get it. As if we had, something in common. Similar situations that occurred in both of our lives, but we are not the same. And she allowed this couple to use her to get access to me since they were not able to get access to me. And that was a big mistake on her part. And when we parted ways, we were on the same floor. She was getting ready to check out, and I was going to be there for a couple more nights. And she went to the bathroom prior to us leaving the restaurant. And she was in there for probably about a good, goodness gracious, 15, 20 minutes probably. I thought she was gone for quite a bit of time, But what was happening was she was whoever was channeling through her, the medium or whoever was channeling through her, they were not able to get that person to do what they wanted them to do. In short, what she was trying to get her to do, she was trying to get her to attach something to me that would allow them to have access to me directly, you know? Basically, think of it like an air tag. She was trying to get them, or they were trying to get her to attach something to me, and reluctantly she did. But that was to her mistake, because she thought that she was doing something that was right, and it was not. It was totally wrong, what she did. But she didn't realize it until it was too late. When she realized that our stories were fairly similar, and the information that I shared with her was real and honest and truthful, what ended up happening is she had a change of heart and what she was going to engage in. She basically felt as if, if I could do this to this person, then whatever happens to me is justified because this person is not deserving of it. You know what I'm saying? So when we parted ways, she basically realized and understood that what she agreed to do the night before in the hotel bar, that was a big mistake. She never should have agreed to do it. Because like I said, it was a scene. It was a stage. It was set. It was all set up. And I saw it from the beginning. And I just played into it. But I was still authentic and I was still honest and I was still real. And she wasn't expecting that. The information I shared with her, she was not expecting what I shared with her. And that made her realize that she was lied to. She was lied to and she was deceived by that couple. And she couldn't back out of what she had already agreed to do. So I believe that she was threatened, that morning after breakfast when she went to the bathroom, she was threatened. She was basically said, no, you're going to do this because we, paid you to do this or whatever, and you need to get this done. So if you don't get this done, it's not going to be good for you. And she had some kind of illness or some kind of sickness that she was suffering from. And it was affecting her. And she saw this as her way of getting more time, getting healing, so to speak, by engaging in this behavior. I don't know what they promised her. Whatever they promised her, it wasn't what she expected. You see, when the enemy will use other people, their vessels, to come up against God's children, God doesn't take that lightly. So whatever she agreed to do, whatever she decided to place on me that evening, that morning, she did so reluctantly. Up until our separating and our parting from each other, I could see a change in her demeanor, in her attitude as well too. She was very worried. She was very concerned about something, but she was trying to keep her cool. She was trying to maintain her chill. And the reason why she was trying to maintain her chill is because she was totally freaked out in regard to what she had agreed to do and who she agreed to do it to. She was freaked out. She was embarrassed and she was ashamed by her behavior. And she wished that she would not have done what she did. But she did. She did. And because she did what she did, she knew that there was going to be consequences. She didn't know exactly what was going to happen, but she knew that it was not going to be good. So therefore, what is going to happen to her in her end days is not going to be as easy as she would like, nor what she expected. This is someone that I actually reached out to, and I told her thank you. I said I appreciate your time. I appreciate your your kindness towards me, and I was genuine about it. I didn't know exactly what she agreed to. And that was not for me to worry about, because I knew that God had me covered. But, I knew what I saw. I knew what I picked up on, and I was correct. And God just let me know that, like I said, she agreed to do what she agreed to do. And her behavior is one of, look, when you open your vessel up, your body up to demonic forces, even if you think you're doing it for a good reason, you're trying to reach out to someone that, like I said, think about Ghost. Think about the movie Ghost. You're trying to connect with someone that you are at a distance from, or you don't have communication with, or they're not talking to you or whatever. You want to communicate with somebody, and she was lied to. She was lied to. She was tricked. She was deceived. The enemy, the devil, will trick and deceive you to get what they want from you. And they will use whatever they have to do it. For this person, for some reason, in her area, in her apartment complex, her condominium, the power went out last night. So the power went out last night. And the next day she ended up being at the hotel that I was at. Or that evening, she ended up being at the hotel that I was at, right? Perfect opportunity, right? It was all staged. Everything that happened purposefully. Even her power outage happened purposefully. It was all staged. If her power had not gone out, she would not have been or had a reason to be at the hotel that I was at. I don't believe in coincidences. And that area that we were in is a very, very affluent area. Meaning that if there is ever any kind of issue or problem, especially a power outage, you best believe that Centerpoint Energy will be there hella quick to get the power back on for those elite individuals that live in that area. Regardless, I do not have any sympathy or empathy for her, because she was sent towards me as a weapon. She was sent to get information from me for my enemies to try to use against me. And then she tried to get me into my emotions, into my feelings, so I'd feel some type of way, which is what they wanted. They wanted her to hit that emotional trigger, to get me in my feelings, to get me in my thoughts, to get me depressed, and get me to act out or behave in a certain manner that they thought would send me on a downward spiral. And I remember exactly when she tried it, and how I got together right quick and realized exactly what they were trying to do. And when she saw that I snapped back real quick from getting into my emotions and my feels, because I had experienced that same kind of pressure point, so to speak, before, that's when she realized, uh-oh, I fucked with the wrong person. This person's very strong. This person is very aware. And I've just been found out. So her energy, after her knowing and realizing that I knew that this was a scene, that we were on a stage, and that I was being played, and I was not allowing it to happen, that's when she needed to go to the bathroom. She was being told to go to the bathroom, to collect herself, to get herself together, to gather herself together, so that she could come back out there with as straight of a face as possible and finish up our breakfast. And do you know, her energy shifted when she realized that she messed with the wrong person, that she was lied to, that she was deceived.